injury, but he aggravated the same knee on Thursday night against the Lakers. Should we be concerned about investing in Victor Oladipo given the injury concerns? And I feel like I have the blessing of a lot more perspective today than I had on Friday. Okay, Friday, my greater point was, we had reports coming out of Thursday night that Victor Oladipo's people, his entourage, people close to him, people he confides in, were not concerned about whatever he did to his right knee against the Lakers, that they thought, hey, crisis averted. Maybe he just felt a little pain, scar tissue in that knee, and he was worried he might have re-injured something, but we don't think he did. He was waiting on MRI results. And so, hey, my big takeaway on Friday was it sounds like the injury on Thursday was nothing. So I'm not going to overreact to that. I'm not going to overreact to something that may not be anything. Okay, then you fast forward to 4 days later, and he didn't travel with the team on their road trip. The Heat, as they do very well, because the Miami Heat, it's like Fort Knox. Information that they don't want to get out does not get out. There are no leaks in the Miami Heat ship. If they want to keep something close to the vest, they keep it close to the vest. And they're doing that with the injury status of Victor Oladipo. So you fast forward 4 days, and, all we know is he's not on the road trip. And Eric Spoelstra was asked a question after the game last night by Barry Jackson of the Miami Herald, who asked him, do you have confidence that Victor is going to play again this season? And Spoelstra refused to answer. I'm a little bit concerned. And, okay, maybe that's just Spoelstra not wanting to give you an inch. But when he's asked the question, is Oladipo, and this is, let me quote Barry Jackson. He said, asked directly on Saturday night if Oladipo will play again this season. Coach Eric Spoelstra declined to say. I'm a little bit concerned by that. So I don't know what was on that MRI. I don't know how cautious Oladipo is going to be with his knee, knowing the serious injury that he suffered on it 2 years ago. Is there any thought to shutting him down for the rest of the year, even if it's not that serious, or God forbid, if it is serious and you're talking about potentially two, and I'm knocking on wood when I say this, I don't have any inside information. This is just me speculating and hoping I'm wrong. But God forbid there is something serious on that same knee, so you would have two bad injuries on the resume of that same knee. That's a really, really bad sign moving forward. So I hope I'm making a mountain out of a molehill. I hope that Eric Spoelstra's comments, well, really, it was a no comment, refusing to comment on whether or not Victor's going to play again this year. I hope that was just Spoelstra giving you a complete non-answer, because if there's any validation to my concerns, then Miami Heat should have no regrets, because when they acquired him for basically nothing. Right. So it's not like they gambled, they made some huge gamble in acquiring him. So the Miami Heat shouldn't have any regrets about this, but it would be a tremendous opportunity missed, because we started to see it, like from Victor. We started to see what Depot can really do, because Thursday night before he got injured against the Lakers, he was getting to the free throw line. He was driving to the basket. He wasn't settling for jumpers when the Heat already have enough guys who settle for jumpers and do it really well. They needed Depot to cut to the basket, and he was doing it. So just when we really started to see glimpses of how Oladipo can fit in with this Miami Heat and really make this team better, he suffers an injury. And now, yeah, I'm a little bit concerned, man. I am. All right, when we come back, we're going to crown our winners and losers from a very busy sports weekend. Keep it locked. You're listening to the only locally owned sports station in South Florida. We are OnsideRadio.com.
We'll be right back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. You can join us on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. Listen to OnsideRadio.com anywhere by downloading the MyTuner Radio app in your app store. Or go to MyTunerRadio.com on your web browser. OnsideRadio.com. South Florida sports leader.
Hello, Inter Miami CF fans. Download the Drink AR app and play inside a first-of-its-kind virtual soccer stadium, hosted by Bodega Trevento and Inter Miami CF, and celebrate your passion for soccer from the comfort of your own home. Find the download links on our Instagram account at Treventus and get our wines delivered straight to your home with a discount for all Inter Miami CF fans. Discover Trevento, a shared passion.
Let's raise a cup to the first among us who put themselves last. To the risk takers, the mask makers, the heroes on the front line and online. To the ones keeping shelves full and keeping us hopeful. To those who don't stop and those making all the stops. To the ones who pick up, suit up, and never let us down. From all of us at Dunkin' to all the heroes keeping everyone running, we thank you.
ADHD. It's the child who can't pay attention or sit still in school, right? The answer may be yes. Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder, or ADHD, can be complicated and it can last a lifetime. Up to 75% of children and adolescents with ADHD have at least one additional mental disorder that requires a comprehensive approach to treatment. Learn more at moretoadhd.com. This message brought to you in partnership with ADA, ACO, and CHAD.
Join the Inter Miami family in 2021 by becoming a 2021 season ticket member. Enjoy enhanced access benefits and pricing not available to general fans. Visit intermiamicf.com/tickets for more information.
You're listening to OnsideRadio.com. Catch up anytime by downloading the MyTuner Radio app. OnsideRadio.com, South Florida's true hometown station.
With Make-A-Wish, the impossible becomes possible. A girl battling cancer can become a race car driver battling the course. The boy showing all the nurses his fire trucks can take the helm of a real one. Wishes can give kids with critical illnesses the strength to keep fighting, get better, and grow up.
Where there's a wish, there's a way.
Wishes need you. Visit Make-A-Wish at wish.org.
Welcome back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. You can reach out anytime on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
Yeah, welcome back into Man of the Match here on Onside Radio. I'm Alex Donno, taking you up until 6 o'clock tonight, as we do every single weekday. We have our guy Alex Aguirre back in studio. I'm broadcasting from home today because I got my first vaccine dose, my first Pfizer dose, way down in Homestead today. So I didn't know if I could make it to Fort Lauderdale in time. I live much closer to Homestead than I do to Fort Lauderdale, so I'm doing the show from here. But we're still connected on all the usual platforms. Even though you cannot see my beautiful face, we are streaming live on YouTube. You know what? The view is actually probably better without my face in the shot. So you can see the lovely shade above onside shade in there. You can still hear us on YouTube. And the most important thing is, and this is why I recommend listening on YouTube if you can. Now, I understand if you're not stationary, it may not be the best idea. If you're driving somewhere, better to listen to us on one of the mobile apps, the free mobile apps like Radio FM, MyTuner Radio. That way you can put us through the Bluetooth speakers and stuff. But if you are stationary somewhere, you're at home or you're at the office, like Jim Mandich would say, you corporate time-stealing weasels. If you're able to watch us and do the live chat, I recommend that because we always have a lot of fun with that. You can chat with each other. You can chat with me. I'm always looking at the messages. I'm very active on there. And every single day for about the 5 or 6 weeks that we've been streaming on YouTube, topics from the YouTube chat turn into topics on the show. So we're very interactive with it. And if you can't reach us on YouTube, I see our guy Herman is in there. Ian from Brooklyn. And Ian says, hey, welcome to the vaccine club, Donno. You will be fine. I'm halfway in. I've got the first dose. I'm getting the second dose on May 3rd. Got the first dose today. So I'm excited. It really does feel like the first step back towards normalcy, because at some point we're going to be completely through this. And And, hey, if I don't want to jinx anything, but with a certain club that I support overseas, could be a few weeks away from celebrating a title if things keep going the way that they're going. And I want to make sure I am protected in mid-May so that I can go on like an awesome drinking binge, because it's going to be fantastic, and hang out with some friends who have also been vaccinated. So I want to get the first step towards normalcy, man. So I appreciate that. I appreciate Herman. I appreciate Ian. So make sure you guys are watching and chatting with us live on YouTube as well. If you can't do that, you can listen, and you can text us 844-416-8123. That's 844-416-8123. How about this? Texture writes, Donno, are you ready for Sunday? Inter tu papa. Where is the hype for the opener this weekend? I'm hyped, man. I was going through something, and we are going to get to our winners and losers of the weekend in a few, so hang tight for that. I was going through season previews from MLS.com, MLSsoccer.com. They actually post some good articles there, but the national media has no faith in Inter Miami whatsoever. I cannot wait to prove them wrong, because the staff writers from MLSsoccer.com made their predictions on where Inter Miami will finish in the Eastern Conference. Charles Boehm says 13th in the East. Now, keep in mind, guys, 7 teams in the East will make the playoffs. Charles Boehm, it might be Boehm, doesn't matter. You're a buffoon. He says 13th in the East. Tom Bogert, who I actually really like, says 10th in the East. Susanna Collins says 13th in the East. Charlie Davies, 10th in the East. Matthew Doyle, 11th in the East. Sam Jones, 9th in the East. Michael Lahoud, oh, that's our guy, former Miami FC player, says 7th in the East. Joe Lowry says 11th in the East. Jillian Sokovitz, 7th in the East. So at least she's got him in the playoffs. So does Michael Lahoud. Greg Seltzer says 6th in the East. And Steve Zakuani says 11th in the East. So, guys, you got a lot of double digits in there. You got some 10s, some 11s, even a 13. These national writers do not believe in Inter Miami. And I'm fine with that, because I think this team is going to surprise some people. Most important factor to me is really establishing a tactical identity under Phil Neville, because last year under Diego Alonso, and Diego Alonso has done, some fine things coaching in other countries. I just don't believe he ever really adapted to MLS. And to his credit, very hard to adapt when you have games canceled, pandemic break, then you come back after 3 months, no fans in the stadium, condensed fixture list. There was a lot working against Diego Alonso last year, but I also did not see really any tactical identity, because you never knew what sort of philosophy or what kind of formation Inter Miami was going to play with game in and game out, and it did not suit them. So I think it's really important for Phil Neville to figure out how to use his personnel to the best of their ability. So I think that's really important. And, I think it's really important to see, obviously you need Higuain to score a ton of goals. He was disappointing. He wasn't here the whole season last year, but from a goal scoring aspect, was disappointing. I think he can and will do a lot better. I want to see Robbie Robinson, who's a former #1 overall draft pick, find a new home. It sounds like he's going to play out on the left wing. I think that's a great opportunity for him to be on the ball, to become a creator, to cut inside and score with his right foot. So I want to see him take a big step forward. And, I have a lot of faith in the midfield. We'll get more into it later. I've got a lot of faith in the defense, and I have faith in the goalkeeping as well. So I think this Inter Miami CF team, quite frankly, is going to really shut up a lot of these writers who think they're going to be damn near last place in the East. It's ridiculous. All right, friends, it is time to crown our winners and losers of a busy sports weekend.
Let's check out the winners and losers from this past week with Alex Donno. Winners and losers.
I'm keeping it balanced in the direction of positivity. We have 4 winners to just 3 losers this week, okay? First winner. I gave him a big shout out in the first segment. I'll do it again. Miami Heat were winners coming out of the weekend. Thank you, Heat, for a complete performance against the Portland Trail Blazers. I wish we had more stress-free nights like last night. But now, hey, I know it sounds like the sky's been falling for a while, but the Heat have won 6 of their past 7 games. If the season ended today, they'd be the 5 seed, but they are just a half game behind Atlanta for the 4 seed. And I'd love to get that 4 seed and have, home court for at least the first round of the playoffs. And that's very much within striking distance for the Heat. So the Miami Heat are winners coming out of the weekend. Another winner. Oh my God, what a weekend. What a Saturday for Lee Sterling, our gambling expert who joins us on Fridays. Now, the non-UFC picks that he made last week were not so great. He lost a baseball game and a hockey game and a basketball game, but his UFC picks were perfect. Lee Sterling won a perfect 5-0 on his UFC plays for the event on Saturday. And guys, I've been watching the UFC for a very long time, been betting on it for a while. To go 5-0 on predictions for a card it's very difficult, even when you're only picking favorites. And he actually had 3 underdogs and they all won. So going 5-0 is very difficult. He actually within the last month, he went 6-0 on one card and then 5-0 on last week. So that's really good. I'm really happy for him. That is not an easy thing to do. Another winner. How about the Miami Marlins? They have not lost a game since my last show. They've only played one, but they have not lost a game since my last show. They got a 3-0 victory over the Mets on Saturday, a rain out on Sunday. They're coming for the Braves tonight. They play tonight, right, Alex, in the ATL? So they're coming for the ATL tonight.
Yep, they play against Atlanta, and the Braves are coming off a very controversial game of their own. I know the Marlins had a controversial game against the Mets a couple of days ago. I don't know if you saw that play again with the Braves and the Phillies last night, the play at the plate.
No, I didn't.
Very controversial play. Another argument of what the hell's going on with instant replay in Major League Baseball.
Yeah, I'm so puzzled that somehow technology can make things worse, because I see it happening in baseball. I see all the Premier League fans bitching and moaning about VAR from the Manchester United-Tottenham game over the weekend. It's so crazy because you would think giving officials technology to better look at calls that they may have missed, that would give them a chance to correct things. But somehow in a lot of cases, not in every case, because there are certain instances where replay is used well and efficiently, but in a lot of cases, somehow the replay makes it worse, which is kind of crazy to me. But hey, I was happy with the Marlins on Saturday. Jazz Chisholm, I got a man crush. What a player. And he may or may not be related to Kai Chen Chisholm from Kai's Corner. I'm just going to assume that he is. I mean, fantastic stuff. Homered off of DeGrom. Trevor Rogers outdueled DeGrom for the W. And the Marlins shutout. Give me more of that, please. Final winner, Hideki Matsuyama. Shout out, first Japanese golfer to win the Masters tournament. That was really cool. I'm really happy for him. Let's get to the losers. First loser, the Florida Panthers. I love you guys. This is tough love. I still believe in this team. I still believe, of course, that, because they had such a strong start to the year, they're going to be in the playoffs. And I think that, if they can get their goaltending up, they have a chance to make some noise in the playoffs. But the Panthers right now are in a funk, man. 3 straight losses. I can forgive the the 2 road losses to Carolina, even though we really should have split those games. But I can forgive losing to Carolina. But the 4-1 loss to Dallas yesterday, that one's a little bit harder for me to stomach, all right? And now the Panthers, they're still in the Stars, who they lost to yesterday, are in the bottom 3 of the division. Panthers, of course, still in the top 3, but we should be beating the Stars every time we face them. Panthers do, for what it's worth, have a shot at revenge tomorrow night, because they will take on the Stars again in Dallas. Next loser, Masters Bettors. So I was reading an article this morning. This is from BetMGM. Bettors went hard on and I did not, by the way, you guys know I bet on a lot of things. I did not bet on the Masters. I've actually never bet on golf before. I wouldn't even really know how to start, but I did not bet on this. But Bettors went hard on a group of 5 favorites at the Masters. They went hard on Jordan Spieth, Justin Thomas, Bryson DeChambeau, Jon Rahm, and Dustin Johnson. Not only did those 5 individually account for the most bets to win the tournament, but when BetMGM posted a prop of the big 5, being those 5 versus the field, the more popular bet was the group of 5 at plus 125 over the field. And only Jordan Spieth was ever really in the conversation from shortly after the tournament started, while Matsuyama, who won it, was 40-1 to win the tournament before it started. And of all the bets made on who would win the Masters, only 1% of tickets and 0.9% of all the money was bet on Matsuyama. So the bettors lost and Vegas won big on the Masters, okay? Final loser, Cristiano Ronaldo. I had to throw him in here. He was frustrated yesterday. He threw his Juventus jersey after the game because he didn't score any goals. His team won 3-1. Juventus beat Genoa yesterday. Only an egomaniac narcissist would throw a tantrum after a victory. This guy is toxic. This guy only cares about himself, could not care less about his teammates. And I know I'm upsetting the Cristiano fanboys, but deal with it. You root for an absolute egomaniac narcissist. So that'll do it for the winners and losers of the week. Losers, Cristiano Ronaldo. Masters bettors, the Florida Panthers. I hate to say it. Winners, Matsuyama, who won the Masters. The Miami Marlins. Lee Sterling for all those UFC victories. And the Miami Heat for getting it done and beating the Trailblazers comfortably yesterday. We'll continue on the other side. Hey, in the 4 o'clock hour, around 4:20, we are going to talk with Jakari Givens from the 5 Reasons Sports Network. We're going to talk some Dolphins and some Canes with him. In fact, we'll get into some of what happened in the Canes scrimmage over the weekend. In the 5 o'clock hour, we're going to talk about the Panthers, who made some roster moves. They made a trade and they made a free agent signing. Dave Dwork from Chirping the Cats radio is going to join us in the 5 p.m. hour, so keep it locked right here. Hey, for 30 years, you've been getting the brutal honesty each and every day from Orlando Alzagari, the Big O, and you can get it right here exclusively on Onside Radio from noon to 3 p.m. every day. Make sure you tune into the Onside Zone right here on OnsideRadio.com.
We'll be right back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. You can join us on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. Onside Radio, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan. Listen to every Inter-Miami CF match on your home for La Rosa Negra, OnsideRadio.com. Catch us every day on the MyTuner Radio app. If you missed Onside Zone with Big O, you missed.
She's kind of young, so I don't know. She may not be into Van Halen much. Let's see. Hey, Ruthie, good afternoon. Are you a Van Halen fan?
You know, I just had to Google Van Halen. I'm not going to lie to you. I just literally have it on my computer right now.
The Onside Zone with Big O. Weekdays 11 to 1 p.m. Only on OnsideRadio.com.
Join the Inter-Miami family in 2021 by becoming a 2021 season ticket member. Enjoy enhanced access benefits and pricing not available to general fans. Visit intermiamicf.com/tickets for more information.
Parents, we know we can't protect our kids from everything. Eventually, they're going to bump their heads or scrape their knees. But we can protect them from 6 types of cancer. HPV, or human papillomavirus, is a common, preventable virus that can cause cancer later in life. The HPV vaccine prevents human papillomavirus and all the cancers it can cause. The American Cancer Society recommends getting your sons and daughters the HPV vaccine starting at age 9 to protect them later in life.
He has an overbite that makes him look like a cartoon character, a slightly crooked eye, and an uncommonly wrinkly neck. In the right light, he can look a little like a garden gnome, and he'll wear a bow tie just because. Sure, you might call him a little quirky, but that's exactly what makes him so perfect. Tuna is a 3-year-old Chihuahua Dachshund mix with more than 700,000 followers on Instagram, and it all started because he was adopted. You can't buy a best friend like Tuna, but you can adopt one. Help us save them all at bestfriends.org.
Keeping you informed in the world of sports. With an OnsideRadio.com sports update.
Inter-Miami CF has signed Mick Marsman to a contract that will run through the 2023 MLS season. The Dutch goalkeeper will join the club in July, following 2 years with Feyenoord Rotterdam, the first division in the Netherlands. Marsman will occupy an international roster slot and is pending receipt of his international transfer certificate and the P1 visa. The Miami Heat beat the Portland Trailblazers 107-98 behind Bam Adebayo's 22 points and Jimmy Butler's 20. The next game for the Heat is tomorrow night against the Phoenix Suns. Tip-off is at 10 p.m. The Florida Panthers lost their third straight game 4-1 against the Dallas Stars. They remain in Dallas for their second game on Tuesday. Puck drops at 8:30. The Miami Marlins won 3-0 on Saturday, and their game on Sunday was suspended due to rain. Tonight, they kick off a series against the Atlanta Braves. First pitch is at 7:20. This is South Florida's home for local sports talk. This is OnSideRadio.com.
Listening to the station with more live and local sports talk than anyone else in South Florida. OnSideRadio.com. Broadcasting from South Florida to the world. Welcome back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. You can reach out anytime on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
With you till 6 o'clock tonight here on OnSideRadio.com. Also streaming live on YouTube. Even though you guys can't see me today. Hey, any way you can turn down that feedback I'm getting, Alex? So you usually whenever there we go. Usually like for the first 3 seconds when I come in, you hear feedback and then it goes away. So we are good. So huge welcome to everybody watching and chatting with us live on YouTube. Herman, Ian from Brooklyn, Sane Kane is checking in. That's one of my favorite dudes on Twitter, man. I always love interacting with Sane Kane. Rafa in Miami as well. I love him. And Herman was asking me because a few hours ago I had my first dose of Pfizer. He says, are you feeling any side effects from the vaccine? Honestly, nothing yet. I can already, though, tell just like moving my arm around that I know it's going to be sore within the next couple of days, and pretty much everybody gets that because you can it doesn't really, and I'm not that I'm fine with needles. Although I don't like to look when I'm getting a shot. I always look in the other direction. I don't like to look at the needle going in, but as far as like getting shots, I'm not that shy about it. Like I don't get that nervous about getting injections, but I do look the other way. But even in not looking at it, you can tell that like it goes pretty deep into the muscle, and I can kind of, when I move, it's not sore yet because it's only been a few hours, but I can tell it's probably going to be pretty sore. I'm trying to like move my arm around to fend off some of the soreness before it really sets in. I have a feeling I'm probably going to wake up tomorrow and it's going to be really sore. But outside of that, Herman, I feel fine. Like, I was worried, hey, what if I get lightheaded? What if I get a headache? Or I don't feel any of that. Now, seems like the people who have gotten Pfizer have told me that if you're going to get any sort of side effect, it's maybe more likely to get it after the second dose than it is after the first dose. So I will keep that in mind in about 3 weeks when I go back for dose number 2. But after dose number 1, all is well so far. All is good. I'm thinking, if anything, because although I think my parents both got Moderna, so you may not be able to compare it. But I remember my father, after he got his first Moderna dose, not the first night, but the second night, he like passed out. Like he slept for like 13 hours. My dad usually stays up until like 1 or 2 in the morning. He went to bed at like 8 a.m. or 8 p.m. and didn't wake up until like 9 a.m. the next day. So I'm wondering if I might get tired, but I don't know if I can compare the Pfizer to the Moderna. We'll see how that plays out. So remember, in the 4 o'clock hour, around 4:20, we're going to talk some Hurricanes spring and a little Miami Dolphins with Jakari Gibbons from the 5 Reasons Sports Network. I'm really impressed. And keep in mind, we really don't get much access to what the Canes are doing. Pandemic and stuff, private practices and scrimmages. We are all going to be able to watch the spring game on Saturday. It's going to be televised. So I am excited for that. I'll be watching Miami's orange and green game, or whatever they're calling it this year, around 11 a.m. on the 17th, this coming Saturday. So that's going to be really cool. But with all of the narratives, the hype, the stats, and the quotes coming out of spring football, I am really impressed with Tyler Van Dyke. I am really impressed with the way he's handling an opportunity to cement himself as both the backup quarterback this coming year and potentially the quarterback of the future. Okay, I'm really, really impressed with Tyler Van Dyke. The stats for the latest scrimmage: 13 for 17 for 190 yards and 3 touchdowns. Jake Garcia, who's going to be in the mix within the next couple of years, he was the higher recruited guy, as we all know. He went 18 for 27 for 164 yards and 1 touchdown. Now, the thing about Van Dyke is he not only has the advantage of having been in the offense for a year, because he redshirted last year, so he's already got, a 1-year head start on Rhett Lashley's offense. He knows his teammates better. He's a little bit older, so that does work in his advantage, of course. And he's also been healthier in spring because Jake Garcia was coming off an injury from the end of his high school career. So, listen, there have been factors working in Tyler Van Dyke's favor, but I'm still really impressed that this young man has been taking advantage of the opportunity he's had with De'Ara King injured, not able to participate in spring. Van Dyke is getting most of the first team reps, and he seems to be thriving. You never hear about this kid having a bad practice. Like, you never hear about Tyler Van Dyke ever having trouble connecting, throwing interceptions, misplacing passes to teammates. No, they're always raving about the work that he's doing. So I'm really impressed. And guys, obviously this year, there's going to be no controversy. De'Ara King, who is, according to Manny Diaz, he's way ahead of schedule on everything rehab-wise, and I hope that that's going to continue to be the case for the next few months. De'Ara King is the unquestioned starter this season. But I think a year from now, we are going to have a legit battle royale for the starting quarterback spot. Like, we are going to have a legit competition. You also have true freshman Ja'Curry Brown, who's going to be coming in next year, assuming he holds firm with his commitment, because he committed to Miami a couple of years ago. But it is going to be an awesome starting quarterback competition beginning a year from now in spring between Tyler Van Dyke and Jake Garcia. And sign me up for it, man. Sign me up for it. We don't have enough of that at the U. I mean, you guys remember when we used to have competition at every position, right? And, we're going to have a ton of depth the next couple of years in running back as well. We all remember 2001 when you had on the same damn team, you had Clinton Portis, Willis McGahee, Frank Gore, Najee Davenport, all fighting for time in the same backfield. We need to get back to some semblance of that, right? Only a couple teams in the country have that type of depth in 2021. Alabama, Clemson, Ohio State. Other teams like Notre Dame and Michigan are trying to achieve that sort of depth, but that's really reserved for a select few. Miami used to have that. Miami used to be the king of it, right? I mean, the hardest games that Miami would ever have to play back in those days were on the Green Tree practice field. The intra-squad scrimmages were the toughest games that Miami ever had to play. But I'm really, really proud and happy that Tyler Van Dyke is thriving, because he was a little bit the forgotten name. When Jake Garcia a few months back announced his commitment to Miami on that bizarre Instagram live that he did that got a little bit botched, the announcement, but we had all kind of already moved on from TVD. We're like, all right, Jake Garcia era is going to start in 2022. Let's go. Tyler Van Dyke is making sure you do not forget he is at the University of Miami. Sounds like Charleston Rambo, the transfer receiver from Oklahoma, also had a really nice day in the scrimmage. 7 catches for like 109 yards. Diaz said that one of his catches was a 58-yarder. I think he's going to be like another KJ Osborne, but I think even better. You remember KJ Osborne a few years ago was a grad transfer from Buffalo, and he just became an integral part of the receiving corps and was like the rock that held everybody together. I think Charleston Rambo is going to be that, but he's got more speed, more upside. So I think that this can be an even better version. And Manny Diaz is going to continue to find gems in the transfer portal. So that's looking really good, man. I'm really, really pumped for that. 844-416-8123 is how you get in. That's 416-8123. By the way, the texter who was writing about Inter Miami says, bleep those haters. This has always been the same story for every Miami team, Donno. People crap on us. You know, he's right. I found that to be the case with Inter Miami, that there's something about the national media. Just, they don't want this market to succeed, because I think that, you know, there's like this weird soccer superiority complex where people from, you know, boring ass cities that nobody really wants to live in, you know, and like the Midwest, you know, like think that they're more entitled to having MLS franchises than a great town like Miami. You know, they don't like the fact that that there's, you know, so much diversity down here, and that we're not all, you know, U.S. men's national team supporters. That, you know, if you go to like St. Louis or something, then yeah, they're all, you know, they're strictly U.S. national team supporters. But, you know, you come down here to Miami, you know, most of my best friends who love soccer, like some of my best friends, you know, have German heritage, and they root for the German national team. You know, I have a soft spot for the U.S. MNT, but I primarily root for the Azzurri. I root with my Italian roots. I know so many great Brazilian fans down here, Colombia, Argentina. Like, there's so much representation just outside of this like all-American apple pie soccer complex. And I feel like these media guys that are from outside the area just do not want us to succeed. Like, they don't like the fact that we've got glamour down here, because David Beckham adds glamour. You know, Jorge Mas has deep pockets, and he wants to make big signings. He wants to make flashy signings and find the best possible players. And I think that these media guys want every team to be built the most boring way possible, like Nashville was last year. And credit to Nashville, very well coached, you know, very tight formation, very solid defensive spine. But I'd rather watch paint dry than watch that team play. So they do not like the fact that we're building something a little bit more intriguing and more exciting down here. And if they don't want to respect it, and they don't want to climb aboard the bandwagon, I'm going to remember these people. I'm going to save the receipts, and I do not want these haters to try and root for this team later. If you're a hater now, you're a hater forever, as far as I'm concerned. We will wrap up the 3 o'clock hour when we come back. Hey, every morning, start your day with 4th and 20 with Toast and Marsh. These guys do an awesome job and add incredible Miami Hurricanes insight. Tune in to 4th and 20 every morning from 8 to 10 a.m. only right here on OnsideRadio.com.
We'll be right back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. You can join us on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. You're listening to the only sports station in South Florida that likes to take your calls. 888-441-4623. We connect with a South Florida sports fan because we are South Florida. Locally owned and operated. 888-441-4623. OnsideRadio.com. South Florida's home for real sports talk. You can connect with us at OnsideRadio.com by sending us a text at 844-416-8123. Save it on your cell phone, 844-416-8123. No better place to send your comments, ask questions, win prizes. OnsideRadio.com, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan.
For over 20 years, Mr. Glass has been committed to the safety and satisfaction of our clients. Our products are the culmination of innovative engineering, aesthetic appeal, and the highest levels of quality. Through our legacy, Mr. Glass strives to impart the true meaning of quality, service, and sustainability to new generations. Reputation, experience, and trust is why clients choose Mr. Glass. Live the future now. Locate a dealer near you today.
At Baptist Health, we are ready
to serve, to treat,
to safely proceed with your procedure.
We're ready for ER visits and office visits
with skilled surgeons,
advanced medicine,
and multidisciplinary teams. We're ready for new arrivals
and new recoveries.
We are ready.
We're ready to diagnose, treat, and manage
anything that comes our way
with exceptional care and comfort.
With the same preparedness and compassion you've come to expect from Baptist Health.
And we are ready.
We're ready.
We're ready.
To care for you.
Can I get a captain?
Captain and what?
Captain and Ginger.
I can't hear you.
Captain and Ginger.
He was a captain and ginger. Captain and ginger. He was a captain and ginger.
Captain Morgan, official partner of Major League Soccer.
Every Thursday, NBA fans can catch one of the best basketball shows in the country when Ethan Skolnick and Ira Winderman host Inside the Paint. Listen to two of the most knowledgeable and connected reporters in the business. Get year-round insight every Thursday at 10:30 a.m. with Inside the Paint on the home for hardcore basketball fans. OnSideRadio.com.
Big O for M&S Air Conditioning. You know, air quality in your home and business is more important than ever. That's why you've got to call M&S Air Conditioning and let them install a high-efficiency polarized air filter in your AC unit. Folks, it attracts, captures, and destroys biological contaminants to improve your air quality. With stellar customer service, answering your call from 7:30 a.m. till 9 o'clock p.m. For more info on high-efficiency air filters and their preventative maintenance plans, visit M&S Air Conditioning at ac-florida.com.
You're listening to this station with more live and local sports talk than anyone else in South Florida. OnSideRadio.com. Broadcasting from South Florida to the world.
Big news, Miami fans! Body Armor is proud to be the new official sports drink of Major League Soccer and Inter Miami CF. It doesn't matter if you're a player or a fan, Body Armor sports drink will hydrate you with potassium-packed electrolytes, antioxidants, and no artificial sweeteners, flavors, or dyes. Whether you're at home or in the starting lineup, Body Armor sports drink will hydrate you from kickoff to the final whistle. Body Armor, now the official sports drink of Inter Miami CF, available at your local Publix.
You're listening to the only sports station in South Florida that likes to take your calls. 888-441-4623. We connect with a South Florida sports fan because we are South Florida. Locally owned and operated. 888-441-4623. OnSideRadio.com. South Florida's home for real sports talk. Welcome back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. You can reach out anytime on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
I see a lot of people hating on this, but I'm going to defend this casting, okay? So they're making a movie about Sean Payton. Hey, cut down that echo for me if you can. They're making a movie for Netflix about Sean Payton's time during the year that he was suspended for Bountygate. And Alex, did you see who they're casting to play Sean Payton?
No, I didn't see who's going to play Sean Payton.
Kevin James.
Kevin James? What? I did not see that coming.
And, you know, people are hating on this, and I get it, because how can you take Kevin James seriously? But, guys, this is going to be a comedy movie. So what this is going to be focusing on is actually Kevin James during the year that he was suspended from the NFL, the 2012 season. He spent that entire year that he was not allowed, to coach the Saints, coaching his son's youth football team. So I don't know, that to me sounds like a Kevin James movie. Like do you remember the movie? Did you ever see Kicking and Screaming with Will Ferrell when he was coaching the kids' soccer team?
Yeah.
I'm imagining this movie being something like that. Like Kevin James is going to have like some smart ass kids. He's going to be like a terrible coach at first, then he's going to win. He's going to be too strict, then he's going to win them over. I shouldn't say terrible coach because it's Sean freaking Payton. How could you not want the guy coaching your youth team? But there's just going to be like some heartfelt story. So this to me, like it sounds like the premise for a Kevin James movie. Plus, and I know people are saying, hey, he looks nothing like Sean Payton, but man, if Kevin James can get on like an Atkins diet for a few months, cut like 40 pounds, put on a visor, I could see it. I mean, I saw. You remember when Here Comes the Boom? He was in that movie a while back.
Yeah.
You know, he did a UFC movie, and he actually, like, for Kevin James standards, he's going to be a large guy no matter what because he's very big boned. But he actually got in really good shape to play a UFC fighter. Like I expected him to be like a flabby dude, but like he actually got in really good shape for that. So I don't know, man. You're gonna have to suspend a little bit of reality because he's gonna be, you know, a bit pudgier than the real Sean Payton. But I could see him dropping some weight and pulling this off. What do you think?
I can see it too. You read my mind. I was going to bring up Here Comes the Boom with Kevin James, and he lost a lot of weight for that and got in incredible shape. So I wouldn't be surprised. And also, he's an actor. He's around all these trainers and people that can help actors lose weight in a short amount of time for a certain role. So I'm not worried about the weight loss thing. I'm after hearing you explain like the plot of the movie, yeah, that does sound kind of like a Kevin James movie. So. And he's really funny, so I'm sure whatever he does, he's going to try his best at it and be really good at it.
Now, I could see it being like a fun movie. I could also see it being a terrible movie because it's one of those Happy Madison movies and like, dude, like the Grown Ups movies, Paul Blart, Mall Cop, the Kevin James. He was in 2 of those. I don't know how they greenlit a sequel to that. So I could see this turning out to be a really bad movie, but I don't know, man. I think Kevin James could be a decent Sean Payton. 844-416-8123. 4 o'clock hour coming up. There's some evidence of the Houston Texans already distancing themselves from Deshaun Watson. Also, the latest defense of Watson from his lawyer, again, to me, it just makes things worse. I'll explain what I mean when we come back. You're listening to the only locally owned sports station in South Florida. We are OnsideRadio.com.
OnsideRadio.com knows gamers need a home.
Can you dig it?
That's why for the next 60 seconds,
Can you count, suckers?
here's your Onside Radio E-Report with Kai Chen Chisholm.
The Call of Duty League finished their major tournament 2 this past weekend, which saw the Toronto Ultra win their first tournament of the CDL as they were able to beat Atlanta FaZe in the final round. There was also a lot of drama that happened over the weekend after Minnesota Rocker beat Optic Chicago in a very, very close match in round 11 of the Search and Destroy in the 5th game. It lined up perfectly for the Minnesota Rocker and player Accuracy, also known as Lamar, as he was able to get a 1v3 as all 3 players lined up and get the win. The big issue came after the match when the Minnesota Rocker Twitter account tweeted out a picture of the 4 players from Optic Chicago, distraught and upset, with tweeting it saying, "We are witnessing a breakdown brick by brick." Players from Optic Chicago as well as owner Hex did have some issues with it.
Stay in touch in the world of gaming with the Onside Radio E-Report. We'll be right back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. You can join us on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. You're listening to the home of Inter Miami CF.
His strike is a decent one. It's fired into the top right corner. Gonzalo Higuain opens his account for Inter Miami.
OnsideRadio.com, where the passion for La Rosa Negra runs deep. You're listening to OnsideRadio.com. Catch up anytime by downloading the MyTuner Radio app. OnsideRadio.com, South Florida's true hometown station. You're listening to this station with more live and local sports talk than anyone else in South Florida. OnsideRadio.com, broadcasting from South Florida to the world. Welcome back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno.
It's all yours. Just keep it right here.
You can reach out anytime on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
Yeah, welcome back in. 4 o'clock hour, Man of the Match with Alex Donno. Well, I'm Alex Donno here on OnsideRadio.com. Taking you for 2 more hours today. If you want to get in, you can text us, 844-416-8123. Text line is always open, man. 844-416-8123. We've gotten some Inter Miami texts from an unnamed texter. Sorry, I don't know who everybody is if you don't sign it. I know Marla has been texting us, a little bit critical of the Miami Heat. And listen, I can understand it because there are some question marks about Victor Oladipo moving forward. We don't know the status of his right knee injury yet. So yeah, listen, I mean, I don't blame the Heat for making that move, and they gave up basically nothing to get him. So I would do it again if I were them. But still, it's disappointing to have to wonder now what his status might be going forward. So you can text us at 844-416-8123. We love it if you join our live stream on YouTube as well. We got some good people in there. Go to YouTube. If you have a YouTube app, go there, or youtube.com. Search Onside Radio. You're going to see a Live Now button, and you can watch us and listen to us live. Now, just a warning, and this actually may entice you to tune in today because you don't get to look at my beautiful face because I'm broadcasting from home today, but you get to see our lovely studio backdrop with the beautiful shade, the Onside Radio logo, the blue skies at Inter Miami CF. Auto Nation Drive Pink Stadium. It's muscle memory, man. I'm still getting used to saying Drive Pink Stadium. And honestly, I think that's one of the best corporate partnerships in town. Hard Rock is great for the stadium the Dolphins play in. That's a wonderful, inspired partnership. But I put Auto Nation Drive Pink Stadium right up there because Auto Nation, they are a fixture in the community. They do great things for charity and cancer research. And with their whole Drive Pink slogan, guys, it's a freaking perfect fit for Inter Miami. They wear pink. There are pink seats in the stadium. Drive Pink Stadium is perfect. One of the best corporate partnerships in town are Inter Miami and Auto Nation Drive Pink Stadium. So I absolutely love it. But if you're watching us on YouTube, just search Onside Radio. You'll see the listen live or the watch live button. And once you get in there, smash that like button, smash the thumbs up. That pumps us out to more people's home pages. It gets us out to more viewers. And make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel if you have not already. Does anybody else, Dolphins fans, are you getting this bad feeling that Kyle Pitts is not going to be there at number 6? It's weird. Like, I don't know, a week and a half ago, I thought, oh, no chance he's off the board at number 6. He's going to be there, right? Because you're thinking, hey, the top 4 teams are all going to draft quarterbacks, and then Cincinnati is going to draft Penei Alavodka Sewell, and we have nothing to worry about. I don't know. There's just something to me with the way that Kyle Pitts is getting talked about over the last few weeks, with the way he's getting written about by every publication, with the way he's getting talked about by more and more NFL people. The secret is out, okay? And I know that this is something that Florida Gators fans, I think, knew before the rest of us did, just how special this guy is. And, I think the rest of us caught up a little bit. Dolphin fans, I think, sure know how special Kyle Pitts is. I was reading this piece today. This is what Bucky Brooks from the NFL Network had to say about Pitts. He said, I would ask you to view Kyle Pitts as a truly rare talent on par with the likes of Calvin Johnson, Julio Jones, and A.J. Green in their respective primes. That trio's instant success can be attributed to superior physical tools and refined skills. Johnson, Jones, and Green dwarfed most defensive backs while also possessing the speed and burst to run past cover men on vertical routes. Also, they all displayed exceptional hand-eye coordination and ball skills to win 50-50 balls down the field, making it impossible to defend them on the island. As I studied Pitts, he said, I saw similar attributes in the 20-year-old pass catcher. And notice how he goes out of his way to call him a pass catcher, not a tight end, because you don't even want people to be that close-minded, because if you think about him like he's a tight end, you're going to say, oh, well, you don't usually take tight ends that early, and you don't need that as much as wide receiver. No, Kyle Pitts, you have to think of him as a pass catcher. He says, as I studied Pitts, he overwhelms defenders on the perimeter with his size, speed, and athleticism. Pitts runs routes like a wide receiver, but he utilizes his NBA power forward-like frame to bully safeties and cornerbacks in space. He renders them helpless in one-on-one matchups, and defensive coordinators are forced to adopt radical tactics to slow him down, particularly in the red zone. That's from Bucky Brooks from NFL.com. Now, that's his opinion. I share it. A lot of you share it. That's no guarantee that the 5 GMs drafting before the Dolphins all share it or some of them share it. But I'm telling you, I have this bad feeling that 6 overall is not going to be high enough to draft Kyle Pitts. And it's not the end of the world, okay? Because you're still going to have the choice of some really good skill position players there. But for those of you, and I put myself in this category, have really, daydreamed and romanticized and fantasized about bringing Kyle Pitts to the Dolphins, I'm a little bit worried that we may have to let that fantasy go, okay? And, hey, I understand the logic, and we know he's not going to be a top 3 pick. We know that, right? Because Jacksonville's not passing on Trevor Lawrence. The Jets are not passing on a quarterback. They're probably drafting Zach Wilson. They didn't trade away Sam Darnold to draft another position at number 2. They're going to draft a quarterback. San Francisco, they didn't trade up 9 spots to not draft a quarterback. So you don't have to worry about those 3. Now, people will try to tell you, Atlanta, they could really use Penei Sewell. They might go in that direction. But listen, if I'm the Atlanta Falcons, number 4 overall comes up, assuming I haven't traded that pick. If they trade down, somebody may be going up to get a quarterback, and that would be great news for us. Atlanta, I don't think they're drafting a quarterback because of the way that they restructured Matt Ryan's contract. I think they're for lack of a better word, stuck with him for at least 2 more years. I mean, you could be stuck with worse, but I don't think they're drafting a quarterback at number 4. So, do they say, hey, we want to shore up the left tackle position with Penei Sewell? That's fine. But if you're Atlanta and you don't need to draft a quarterback, and you just decide best player available, you can make an argument that the best player available is Kyle Pitts. I think it would either be Pitts or Penei Sewell, but then it just comes down to personal preference. Like, which of the 2 of those guys do you think is going to have a bigger impact on a game or a bigger impact on the position that they play? And I would say the guy who's the mismatch nightmare and is going to score a ton of touchdowns for whoever drafts him would be the best player available. I would put that even before, the potential all-time left tackle. I think Kyle Pitts is so special that at number 4, Atlanta might say, that's the guy we need to have because he's too good not to draft. And if they don't draft him, okay, same thing can be said about Cincinnati, right? Cincinnati could really use Penei Sewell, and I hope they draft him. If he's still there at number 5, I hope that's who they go for. But that's another team not in the market for a quarterback. They just drafted Joe Burrow last year.